In 1999, the film Big Daddy gave a heartwarming look into what it means to grow up and into parenthood. Today, a hometown friend stops by to talk self-care and personal growth and share a warm beverage full of benefits. This is the Bean Bro Podcast. My name is Evan. Julianne, it's time to be real. Hello and welcome to the 9th episode of the Bean Bro Podcast. I am with my college friend, Julianne Kiefer.
Hello! Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I wanted your energy on the first season of the Bean Bro Podcast, so I'm glad we can finally make this happen.
Hell yeah. Thank you. I said I wasn't going to swear. Sorry.
How are you today?
I am doing great. It was kind of a busy day at work, but we put out a lot of fires, and I love some of my cute older patients. We had a good vibe today. Good long chat, inspired by one of my patients' lives, actually. Nice. But I'm going really deep here. How was your day? And I'm curious what the heck you're up to at work.
I'm doing awesome. I'm really enjoying doing this podcast as a hobby of mine currently. 2024 has rocked for the most part. I've gotten back into my passions with creativity and hockey. So I've been very grateful overall. I went on many vacations and trips this year. So just a lot to be grateful for. This past year I've moved into a different role with nursing. So I'm coming from a different perspective with patient care. So overall, it's been great. If you don't mind, if I just backtrack a little bit, I want to talk like you, out of all of our friend group from college and nursing school, you are actually the one I've known the longest, technically.
Whether I knew it or not.
Right.
And I feel like a jerk that I probably didn't know it because I was so just tunnel visioned in high school. But I know you were there, your vibes were there, and we were meant to all get held back.
Listen, to be completely fair, I was so low-key, whether it be by my own decision or not.
Hey, you probably had a lot of peace. I was being a little bit dumb. I could have been wiser in my younger years, but hey, we're here now, and we're doing great. And I do know, if you wanted to hear it, my earliest actual memory of you was in nursing school, and the impression was that you were just hysterical. So we were in Morosky, and it had to be like second year, and we were in some class where they had all the like clinical setups in the back. We had to do presentations, and I don't know what or why, but yours was about hockey. And I don't know what you said, but I remember like near peeing multiple times. And I was like, where has he? He's so hysterical. Where has he been? And then I realized you were kind of quiet. And I'm like, he should be louder. But I think it's like a silent superpower for you. Like once you get in Evan's little circle there, you get to enjoy the benefits or the highlights of your personality, I guess I should say.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised that you didn't hear much of me in high school because I was so, like, terrifyingly shy. I remember you frequented the area outside of my homeroom in the senior school. Yes.
Dude, that was a crew. I don't know what to say, but that was a crew.
So seeing you in college, I had to do a double take. I'm like, am I still at McDowell? Am I still a McDowell Trojan?
How'd she get here? I thought she was a rat.
Never.
No, because legit, we'd sit on the floor in the morning. How
Never.
nasty. Winter
I never
all.
once thought that. I, like you, I didn't know much about, like, your opinion of me. I didn't know much about you either. So I was just kind of like, well, there is definitely a thin thread of a commonality here. So how can I bridge that, being that I'm so shy? So I tried my best to come into my own in college.
I think you did. And I got to be a special part of that with the goons and just watch you flourish. And I think we all did during that time. And we started in the dirt. Like, really, we all came together when we got held back. And then we blossomed. I don't know, we planted that seed of knowledge. Who was that? Our nutrition teacher? I think of it often. Oh, did you have the same one as me, nutrition teacher? Who did you have?
The old decrepit lady?
Yeah, right on her. She said that we are forever students, and I think we just all grew off of each other. Our late study nights, fond memories in the old church, and studying for finals. I think we really lifted each other up, and we all grew during that time.
You know, finding a group that you vibe with is a part of that battle. Do you agree?
Yes, and I felt like I didn't have a group to fit into until the goons. I don't know if you felt like that in college.
No, I was very much isolated. I wasn't even in like a nursing program. So coming into Gannon, it was like I knew some people from the Erie community that went to Gannon because it was the hometown crowd. But I never, that first year, and it was technically sophomore year of college, I just felt so alone being a commuter because I was actually off campus starting out. So I found myself to be incredibly fortunate to find you guys.
Oh, I think the same too, because as another commuter myself, that was one thing that I felt like was a barrier, which I really didn't think it was. I was like, oh, look at me. I'm going to be staying at home, saving money. But it was lonely as well. The socialization on campus, it wasn't really happening for me. But now once we started hanging out with Katie, Caitlin, and Sydney, I felt like we got into that campus life, or at least that was my first time feeling like, you know, I'm a part of this joint. It felt really good.
Yeah, talking to other people in the group, in the Gannon Goons, I felt like everyone described that they were lonely in some way. So I think just having that, again, that commonality and finding a spark with each other really helped get me through those final years of college. And I appreciate you being a founding member.
Thank you. I would consider you as one of the founding fathers, but I appreciate the shout out.
So Julianne, I also wanted to ask you, is there anything new and exciting in your life right now?
I mean, the holidays are coming up, so that is to look forward to, which is always exciting, but looking back...
Oh my gosh, that reminds me.
Oh, what's coming up for you?
No, I just mean last Christmas, we were doing a gift exchange.
Yes,
you
and I
that?
still have a gift.
And I still have your gift.
Oh my god, I'm just remembering now.
We've been holding on to it. It's like, I won't tell you what it is, but it's like vacuum sealed, and it's been like taunting me this entire time. I wonder, like the telltale heart.
The one I have for a human in your household is also still sealed, and I'll say for like 6 months, I kept it in my trunk. I was like, I might come across them. Don't know how or when. We don't live in the same city, but you never know. You might come back to see your fam, and then we never ran across each other. So I apologize too. We're going to do like your version of the Waffle House sometime, and we'll have a little Christmas drug deal thing in the parking lot.
I love the way you describe that. That's exactly what I want the holiday season to
bring. What you envision. And we all have to wear like black little ski mask type hats and dark sweaters and really
I like the idea of like a black Santa costume.
Ooh.
With some black Air Force Ones.
Would you wear bling? Like, how do you feel about some like silver accents? I feel like I see that.
Christmas tree lights.
Oh.
Bling necklace,
Ooh. Yes. Wait. I don't care.
Or some tinsel.
Tinsel! Dude, so I'm not gonna judge, but what's your facial hair status? Like, do you go beard around the holidays? Because if so, I have a recommendation for decor for the beard. And if not, keep on being clean. That's nice too.
It depends my level of how lazy I am. Sometimes I'll let it go, but then I find when I let it go, I get really annoyed and that I have to keep it up, and then I just shave it off. So it's like I'm lazy when I have it, but I'm also lazy when I don't have it.
I feel that. I'm getting ready to go Britney on my hair because it's actually quite long for the first time in years.
And Britney is in Britney Spears.
Hell yeah.
For the audience.
03 Britney, shout out. Now that I'm older, I understand what you went through. Not 100% the same.
You're taking your time.
Yeah.
And taking your time is important.
You
Go
have
at your own pace.
cracks to fill later on, or just your base isn't going to be stable. You got to clean as you go. I don't want to say clean as you go, but, if there's a crack, let's fill it up now.
It can get crowded up there.
Yeah.
You gotta do some spring cleaning, fill some cracks. I actually think back to thinking about that. Have you ever seen Paul Blart's Mall Cop?
Yes, it is.
I don't know why I'm saying Paul Blart's Mall Cop. I think it's just Paul Blart.
Paul Blart. I think it is.
But
Paul Blart,
he eats
Mall
like
Cop.
the peanut butter at the dining room table with his family, and he's like, says something about like peanut butter filling the cracks of his heart.
Peanut butter. It just fills the cracks of the heart. Go away, pain.
And I'm honestly on that.
No. Sometimes a spoonful of peanut butter can get you through anything. Truly.
So I wanted to ask you a question that I've asked all the other guests. What actor or actress do I remind you of?
Oh, well, first of all, I'll preface it with, I don't remember what the other answers were. I listened to Rachel, Sydney, and part of Aaron's, and I honestly don't remember this part. But I feel like it's obvious that it's Ryan Reynolds. Like, how not? I feel like some similarities in the look, and then also, hey, compliment, shout out. And then the other
so
part
gracious.
is the sense of humor. Like, a very similar sense of humor. It's not typical. It's, you really got to pay attention to it. Not always, but there's jokes within the jokes. And with that, did you see the new Deadpool? Because that was awesome.
Oh, I did. I really liked it. It was such a fun movie, and it was a good combination of funny, but also just like rip-roaring entertainment.
Yes, there was. I felt like a lot of butt stuff, like getting stabbed in the butt, lots of butt shots.
I love the scene where he's getting suited up by the one predatory gentleman, and he's just like slapping him in the ass as he's suiting up.
Is that who you see yourself as in Hollywood, if you were ever in? Or what were some of the other answers in comparison? Like, what did the other goons and your sister think you were?
Well, I won't spoil the recent episode, but I've gotten Will Ferrell.
I see it.
I've gotten Ryan Reynolds. I think that's about rounded out. There might have been some others that I'm forgetting, but even if it were repeating, I mean, I can create a tally. Mm-hmm. And maybe by the end of this adventure, I could see what the people have said, the consensus. So I'll take Ryan Reynolds. I feel like I have a little bit of snarkiness to me.
Quick-witted too, like it's not all scripted. Something falls in your lap and you take that opportunity to shine light on it, like the humor of it.
Well, thank you.
You're
I appreciate that. Well, if we can take this good nature and transition into a part of why we're here, I wanted to ask you if you had a favorite cafe, and it doesn't necessarily have to feature, coffee. Mm-hmm. I know you had told me before we recorded that you're a big tea drinker, but just somewhere that you go, have some cozy vibes, get a nice drink, and then go on about your day.
I've been waiting for this one. I'll be honest, I can't say I frequent cafes. I do frequent tea, but I've tried chai tea lattes specifically, or chai tea, at various places, and I just can't find one that hit. I'll say one that was pretty good was the Tim Hortons one I tried in Dunkirk, New York. Shout out to them. They made it with a tea bag instead of like pumps of something concentrated, so that was cool. But honestly, my most cozy experience is going to the grocery store, a place that I'm very comfortable in. I feel like I kind of grew up in a grocery store. My parents were managers in a grocery store my whole life. And I just go explore in the tea aisle. There's like 100 different flavors, but I have some favorites.
There is so much tea. It's like cereal today. Well, is there a particular brand of tea that you like? Because I know there's, like we're talking about, there's so many different selections. So is there a go-to?
Cup of chai tea. I like to get what is it? Bigelow brand, and it's actually
Nice.
vanilla chai tea. And then you throw a little either manuka honey in if you're worried about getting like into scratchy throat season. I can pop off about manuka honey and the health benefits of that. Very natural. Or if not, if you're feeling a little wild, you can put a little creamer in there, and that's tasty too. And bring that to work, or just chill on the couch with it. And the comfort of my home is, I think that's just really grown through COVID. You'd think I'd be sick of my home after being boarded up for a while, but it's still a cozy place for me. And I think it's because I've got my animals here, and it's just comfortable. So I am more of a tea at home person, but I've been really cutting back on caffeine over the last few years.
Okay.
So tea, I can't say I even have it every day, maybe like 3-4 times a week. When I was working in the ER, I don't know how I didn't ever go into AFib, VTAC, anything, because I would drink like 2 of those Bang energy drinks over a 12-hour shift 3 times a week for like at least a year. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how I just induced some anxiety. But
well, speaking about the caffeine content and like that for coffee, like was there any other health benefits that you feel like tea brought to the table for you?
I enjoy green tea as well. Just simple green tea, maybe like a green tea with peach flavor. And I just put a little, if anything, manuka honey in there.
What is manuka honey? I have to ask you.
Thank you. My grandma put me onto it. Shout out to you, Grandma Sylvester. It comes from New Zealand. There's a certain tree, and it's a manuka tree. The bees there in New England go around and pollinate these specific trees, and then they make their honey and whatnot. But anyways, this honey has antibacterial properties to it. It's also, it could be used for healing. Like I have put that on burns. Like if I burned myself cooking, I put it on burns. Of course, not an open wound. Don't do that. But it helps speed up the healing process. You could slap some on dry lips, but especially in the fall, I just like to put a little bit of that in my tea, and just to boost immunity. And if you had a sore throat, you could also just take a little spoonful of that. It's like a sweet treat. It coats the throat nicely. So yeah, I check out your local co-op.
I kind of want to get some, hoping that if I drink it'll just fix all of me.
You'll never have to
so
take
great.
another pill again. Never.
That's cool. I didn't know that. I have regular honey. If I'm going for tea, I've been big into chamomile recently.
Ooh, yes.
Chamomile with some honey, vanilla. I usually drink it at night when I'm winding down and having a movie or a show on, just to get in that space of
Zen.
Yeah, I'm asleep now. I'm gonna go to bed now. I haven't had it in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it does get you to that place of relaxation and going off to the.
And you kind of make yourself a little ritual there too when you do it. And I can't say I do it every night, but when you
rituals.
do it,
I don't know about you.
Focus. I am actually working to adapt or bring more rituals into my life. It's really part of taking care of yourself. You have something predictable to look forward to. There's a little reward in it usually, even if it's just like, this is what I do in the morning to get ready.
Yeah.
You feel better about yourself. So I've been trying to form more of those. Do you feel like you have a ritual in particular that you like?
Unfortunately, because of my own anxiety, every part of my day is ritual. So I don't freak myself out. No, but
kudos to you.
No, but I mean, really, I do like those small things. Like at work, I'll have like a coffee and breakfast at the same time. It just gives me something to look forward to, I guess.
Yes, a sense of comfort
Yes.
comes with the predictability as well.
Well, Julianne, I know there's nothing ritualistic about hopping on your friend's podcast and talking about one of your favorite movies, but do you want to do that?
Of course.
So you've brought to the table the 1999 film Big Daddy. It's an American comedy drama film directed by a Dennis Dugan. The film stars Adam Sandler, legendary, Jon Stewart, who we now see on talk shows and political interviews, and two 90s, 2000s kids' favorites, Dylan and Cole Sprouse from the Disney Channel hit show, The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
And many more names that could be dropped too. I can't say I know them all, but...
It's a stacked movie, and yeah, Adam does surround himself with familiar faces, people that he loves in the industry. Makes it a very friendly environment. And I don't know, that charm shows here. Like, the film was a huge success, making $235 million in the box office on only a $34 million budget.
Ooh.
It's the highest grosser for Adam Sandler until Hotel Transylvania 2 in 2015. Despite being a big hit, like, it was, sort of panned by critics, and the film was nominated for like 5 Razzies, which is like the film award for like movies that basically suck.
What?
And so Sandler actually won the worst actor category.
What?
But we'll talk about Adam Sandler and his movies a little bit later. Right now, Julianne, is there any way you can give me a short synopsis of the film?
Sure. So, Sonny Colfax, he might even be around our age in this movie, late 20s, early 30s, if anything. He's still trying to figure out how to adult. And once he told me about that budget, it all started to make sense, because where Sonny lives in the movie, it looks like it was low budget. Like, no windows, no doors. Like, the bathroom had a random window that you could open to look out. It was bizarre. But anyway, so it's about a young adult learning to navigate the adult world. He can't really handle any responsibilities. He doesn't have a job because his foot got ran over once by a taxi, and what was it worth? It was like worth $2 million or something.
It was like $200K, which in 1999 was, to us now, that would be like almost 400 to 500, give or take.
Not enough to survive on for a long period of time, but I think that's what Sonny thought he was going to do. Well, we get to know his roommate in the movie, Jon Stewart, and the roommate is about to take off to go to Japan. Before he goes, there's a little surprise party for him. There's also a little engagement. They waste the good surprise on Sonny. Gotta throw that in there. That's like one of my favorite lines. We wasted the good surprise on you. But, anyways, the roommate is now engaged, and what happens? Well, the next day when Jon Stewart takes off to get out of town, he wakes up in the morning and he gets a knock on the door. And who is it? It's like Child Protective Services with the cutest little kid in the world. And I don't know what Sprouse it was, but one of them really put on the puppy dog face good, because you feel so bad for young Julian. You just want to take him in. So he kind of gets the gist that his roommate's got a secret kid now. And the kid doesn't have a mom because she passed away due to cancer. And he's like, crap, what do I do here? Well, he kind of takes the kid under his wing. He pretends he is his roommate, and tells the what is he, DFS guy or something, that I'll take Julian. And it's where things start to go. Now he's got to take on responsibilities, taking care of a child. He ends up forming this bond with the kid that is hilarious, but also they're both learning from each other. And it's a tearjerker at the end, because, the law comes in and legal process has to occur. And I don't know if I can spoil the ending, but it's kind of sad, kind of happy. It works out for Julian, though.
A big part of it is just Adam Sandler's Sonny Colfax character taking on this responsibility of parenthood.
Yeah.
A big part of the film, like with any Adam Sandler film, is the characters in this movie. I think maybe we could touch on that first, if you don't mind. As far as the twins in this movie, Dylan and Cole Sprouse. I think the team knew that their biggest challenge was casting Julianne. They looked at the twins because they were actually both in the role of Julianne.
I never knew that till I was older. I didn't even know it was the Sprouse twins until I was older. So that was a fun fact.
I didn't know that either. I didn't even know that after I watched Zach and Cody. They do that with the twins because, it's just easier to split their time. So one's not getting exhausted and they don't have to run into any legal trouble.
Kind of like the Mary-Kate and Ashley contract,
Yeah,
one kid
exactly.
tries swapping the other, and then we can use each one for so many hours a day.
So, these twins becoming, the powerhouse duo in The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, which was important to our childhood. How cool is that?
I don't know them personally, but I could say I'm proud of them. I'm sure they got chewed up and spit out in some way or another in Hollywood being child actors. They're still producing great works. Seeing Cole in, what was he in, Riverdale? Can't say I watched a lot of it, but some of it I was really intrigued with him there. And then Dylan's been in some movies that I've enjoyed, but they seem to have good heads on their shoulders for the most part, and we didn't get any 03 Britney.
It's Britney, bitch.
Headlines from them. I think that was a great first start if that was their first break into the acting industry, and it seemed to work out well for them. Either they were born to do it or trained to do it well. I'm not sure, but it's one to admire to see them go from Danimal commercials to this. Proud of them.
Opinion time. Did you like Dylan or Cole more?
I'll only tell you if you promise not to get angry.
Okay.
Dylan, he was the bad boy.
I like the way you think, sweet thing. You like anything she says, desperate thing.
I don't know if that's how everyone feels. Cole was smart, but Dylan seemed like the edgier one.
Cole was smart and structured.
Yes, that's who's going to plan your vacation. And Dylan's the one who's going to make the vacation fun because we're not doing anything on Cole's to-do list, or itinerary, I should say.
I think I agree with that. When you're a kid, you're like, okay, Dylan is obviously the more fun one.
Yeah.
How could you not want to relate to him as a kid?
Free-spirited, no worries. He was just there to have fun, and maybe part of that was having the comfort of his sibling to kind of protect them both. I think almost as we were growing up, I might have been more of that protective role of my sister and I. But now, it's like she wears the pants. You would think she is the older sister. Her life is so together. I'm the more, fly by the seat of my pants now in reference to having fun and stuff. And I used to feel a little more uptight. And now she kind of keeps things in line. I don't know. Have you ever felt like that with your sister? One of you guys were, I don't know if I want to say wild, but a little more out there, and the other one was a little more controlled or tamed.
For sure. My sister was the wild spirit growing up.
I can see that.
I was very quiet, very structured. Maybe I didn't make good decisions all the time, but she was more wild until she kind of cooled down a little bit. But even now, she's definitely a freer spirit. So I was unfortunately probably the more Cole type role back then.
And then you blossomed into a Dylan Sprouse.
Well, thank you. That makes me warms my heart.
Both worlds. You're so welcome.
I think with the whole Dylan and Cole thing, I don't have any basis for this, but I want to say the more I want to really believe that Dylan embodied the parts with Julianne where he's more higher energy, crazier, cranky, you know what I mean?
Kangaroo song, you think
yeah,
he was
or Dylan
there?
when Adam Sandler's Sonny Koufax is trying to watch the hockey game and he's being an absolute menace. I'm like, that's Dylan.
Eating ketchup and all this other nasty
I'm a believer
stuff.
is what I want to say. On a different train of thought, if Adam Sandler was to do a type of movie like this again, I'd almost want to do a modern take where Adam Sandler is now a disgruntled, retired old man, and he has to take in two nephews who are college dropouts.
Ooh.
I don't know, maybe the Island Boys or the Paul Brothers.
I like this.
That could be fun. Adam actually had some great chemistry with the Sprouses.
Mm-hmm.
On set, they said like Sandler was like the dad at all times. When it came to these Sprouse twins, he was like loaded with love, and all they wanted to do was like crawl all over him. Does Adam Sandler give dad energy to you?
Oh, heck yeah, he does. Oh my gosh, he gives, like, in my eyes, probably award-winning dad energy. From what I see in interviews, he is willing to go out of his way for his children, but also get in their way, like with embarrassing him with his style, with the things he says. He shows up to the red carpet in like swim trunks and a bowling shirt. He doesn't care. He's there because he has to promote his movie. I just feel like he's a very realistic man, and even though his kids are growing up in a different world than maybe he had grown up in, I think he's keeping everyone level-headed.
Yeah, we'll talk about the whole Adam Sandler of it all after the break. We won't break right now, but before we do, I wanted to ask you who you felt gave the strongest performance in this movie, or like maybe who charmed you the most.
It depends there's so many outstanding roles. Like, I can look at Leslie Mann and I just love...
Oh, she's great.
I think she did great, but then also you see, like, this was prime, how guys were kind of acting in the 90s towards women, whether jokingly or what, but when they're like, Hooters, 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 like, I can't help but to laugh, but then I'm also like, ooh, probably not cool anymore.
I mean, I think the juvenile part of you wants to laugh.
Yes.
It hasn't aged well in like today's climate, considering that. And I do think maybe there is some like progressive, even for back then when they're talking about the two men who are in like a gay relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And how Adam vouches for them. But then at certain points, like they also knock it down a peg where that one character is always looking at them in disgust. Like, guys, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Are we progressive or are we not? Maybe that's I don't know if you want to call it the beauty of Adam Sandler.
It's a movie of its time, and that's okay.
It very much is. And we are kind of children of that time. Like you said, this was kind of a foundational movie growing up. I feel like some of these Adam Sandler movies also shaped my sense of humor. And it's similar to my dad's sense of humor. How you said your mom introduced you to this film. I feel like my dad introduced me to the world of Adam Sandler, and I see where his sense of humor comes from too. It's all similar.
Yeah. I mean, coming off that maybe juvenile nature, do you have any favorite lines of dialogue in this film?
Oh my gosh, probably every line ever spoken. I reference them all the time. Like, if I drop something in the grocery store and when I go to pick it up, I'm like, Microsoft went down 3 points, and I can't help but laugh. Or, classic, but I wipe my own ass. When poor Julian's getting taken away, separated from Sonny, he's so proud he can wipe his own ass, and he thinks that's, reason enough to keep him there.
I honestly just even like something so simple when, again, like Julian's being a menace while he's watching the Prime Hockey Night, and he just says, "All right." Like, we've all been there, whether it be with a kid or just one of our, like, a family member just getting on our absolute nerves.
And then they just lose their shit. I've definitely been on the receiving end of those. All right. Just like, I don't know if it's when you're a kid, if you just want the attention so bad, or you're so stubborn to get what you want, but kids know how to push their parents' buttons. And I think that also kind of is a note to me that I'm kind of glad I don't have kids right now at this age. I don't know if I would have the entire patience to take on a kid right now. And somehow Sonny, I know he's a fictional character, just, after a few days, he's like, yeah, this is cool. Let's keep the kid. My life would be melting down, but
I think that's reasonable for an age where, I mean, that Adam is portraying in Sonny in that similar age range that we are. I think that's an absolutely fair take to have, especially if you're taking your time to find yourself first. And I think we'll talk about that a little bit more. I think this is a good place to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Sandler of it all. in this film, and we'll play two truths and one lie, and you'll have your chance to defeat me and sully my current record.
Ooh.
And we'll talk about a little bit about some themes in this movie, some messages before we give our final verdict. What do you say, Julianne?
I think that sounds like a plan.
And we are back talking about the 1999 fall classic, Big Daddy, a name that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the family and juvenile fun that's in this movie, but one that I wouldn't change. What do you think, Julianne?
I agree. Imagine this hitting theaters in South America. Grande Papi.
Again, you call me that. Don't call me Papi again.
I think you have to keep that as the name.
Well, the original name for this movie, do you know what it was?
No, what was it?
Guy Gets Kid.
Oh, I'm so glad it's not that. I would have never watched that. Guy Gets Kid.
Like, you could interpret that as kidnapping. It'd be a completely different movie.
Man acquires child.
That's even scarier.
Yeah, that's something we need to call the FBI about, but that's a whole nother topic I could go into.
I mean, never mind any of that.
Yeah.
I really wanted to touch on the Sandler of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I think Adam Sandler's, historically, Adam Sandler's comedies have not tended to be critical favorites, and that's fine. And I don't think anybody attached to the film was worried or feeling frustrated about the reviews. I think there was a quote where the producer of the film said that Adam Sandler wasn't worried about it. He said, "Don't pay attention to them. Don't worry about it." I think people who work with Adam love that he does serious work from time to time, and maybe he does serious work from time to time, but he also understands that there's a certain heart that you also have to have with a family film, like a family movie.
A sensitivity there, maybe.
I feel like I personally love Adam Sandler. I do. I feel like he's effortlessly charming. However, one thing that's always irritated me about his work is that sometimes it's just cheesy to a fault.
Yes.
I don't think that's
try there.
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think there's definitely a consensus in pop culture where the structure of his movies, let's say, he's always sort of an average Joe.
Yep.
He's somehow considerably rich, or he gets to be well off.
Very
and then he
true.
somehow gets an A-list level girl.
Realistic for a dude and a guy in and one basketball shorts picking up a supermodel.
So you absolutely know at least he's partially writing these films.
Yes. And they'd be arguably easy for him to act in if in some way he's slightly portraying himself. I don't know, but...
Maybe there's a deep level of insecurity there where he's not standout attractive, he's kind of a dork, shouldn't be getting the girls. Maybe on one hand it's embarrassing, but I think you can make an argument that it's actually pretty admirable. His films maybe mirror that insecurity where they're not always pretty looking. Maybe the tone gets lost, but it shows that Adam, again, he has a whole lot of heart. His films have a beaming soul. And based on the success of his movies, based on the people who eat it up and spend so much money and time with their loved ones watching them, maybe that's all we really need.
That little ray of sunshine, not needing to overthink things. Just sit back, relax. It's a movie you can get up and go do something real quick and sit back on the couch and jump into it, and it's not the end of the world like you missed something huge. It's definitely one of those maybe more on the surface films versus your Titanic. Just a quick example on the top of my head, but it hits the spot. And I can see what you mean going back to his insecurity, and maybe that's why he plays some of these characters. I don't know if he really felt this way, but what if he was maybe the quiet, goofy kid growing up, and now that he has a spotlight, maybe this is how he'd like to be seen or portrayed. And what I find interesting is what I see of him, maybe on a red carpet or an interview. It doesn't always exactly seem to match his character, or his characters. Uncut gems. That's interesting. That makes me wonder, but...
Is that your take on Adam Sandler? Or maybe his films that, like, he just doesn't care. He's just being him.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's like, throw in this guy. Yeah, let's do that joke. It sounded good the first time we heard it. We didn't think about it too much.
I think we often see, like, Adam Sandler in the wild on social media photos. Like you said, he's wearing these baggy athletic clothing, almost like a recent Billie Eilish.
Yes.
And I mean, most people like ironically respect his fits. Like, hell yeah, man, you do you.
Boy, he got that shit on though.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think these outfit choices say about the Sandman?
Now, kind of like him, we could just touch on the surface and he really doesn't care. And that's what he grabbed out of the closet that day and slapped on. Or it could mean a lot more. Maybe he doesn't want people to think he cares about being a rich guy. Or is this some way that he can feel normal in an abnormal world that he's living in now? I guess maybe it's because I'm still like a young woman or a young adult. I don't know what I want to say, that I care a lot more about how others perceive me. And by him dressing the way he does, he is saying he doesn't care how others perceive him, whether that is good for his inner peace, I guess, or if it's bad for people who may want to do business with him. I don't know.
So what you may be saying is that he's a source of inspiration for us all.
Yeah, yes. Through his fashion choices, he's inspiring us to be our authentic selves. 100%.
We can all find the dad in us.
We can channel that. We can all channel the little bit of Sunny in us, too.
Sometimes you just have to pop out with the most uninspired outfit imaginable.
Yeah, is that how you like to go to Walmart, too?
Sometimes you just gotta let them know that, hey, I'm not always on point. I am not always like trying to brand or trying to impress. Sometimes I just have to be in the electronic aisle in my PJs.
Sometimes it's the striped flannels. I feel like that takes it the extra mile, because blatant pajama pants, people might judge more versus like the pajama sweatpants you might wear in public. Now what level do you go? Do you go true classic pajama pants that look like they have a matching button up top with long sleeves and cuffed wrists, or do you roll out in like maybe that's athleisure? I'm not sure.
I think I roll out with the athleisure. I try to have a happy medium where I look put together with the athleisure, but it's more of like, this is my I don't care. And if you see me in if you see me in sweats, maybe you should be worried.
Yeah, maybe keep walking.
He's in athleisure. He's not trying to ball. He's actually very sad.
No, he looks so tired and exhausted because he just worked out. He's not depressed.
All right, we're getting a little bit off topic, but that's fine. I love it. I do want to invite you to ball out and play a game true to the podcast called 2 Truths and 1 Lie.
Ooh.
Julianne, for maybe you don't know, or for the audience members who don't know, 2 Truths and 1 Lie is pretty simple, face value, where I give you 3 supposed facts, and it's your duty to pick out the 1 lie that stands out.
Let's see. I'm feeling a little lucky. I'm feeling channeled into my intuition today. So let's see what you got on the plate for us.
Fact number 1. Leslie Mann, who plays Corinne in the film, spent some time as a waitress at Hooters when she was between film work after acting school. Adam Sandler, who did co-write the script, thought this dirt would add to the tension and humor between the 2 characters, and we see that it's a running gag throughout the film. Fact 2. Scuba Steve is based on a doll that Adam Sandler owned when he was little called Diver Dan.
Oh.
Diver Dan can be seen briefly in the intro scenes of another Dennis Dugan film, Problem Child, released in 1990. Fact number 3, Cody Gifford, son of Kathy Lee Gifford, a big TV personality and actress, was 8 years old at the time and originally in the mind for the role of Julianne. Reportedly, Kathy Lee Gifford told the crew that after reading the screenplay, I was like, Cody pees at home, not on walls.
What?
So just to recap, we have Leslie Mann worked at Hooters. Number 2, Scuba Steve being based on a doll Adam Sandler owned as a child, Diver Dan. And number 3, Kathy Lee Gifford's son, Cody Gifford, was in consideration for the role and was a little snarky and denied the role for her son.
Now, as with all celebrities, I will say that I don't know these people personally, but just based off of what I see, I didn't want to really say it's true, but I think the peeing on the wall thing is true. I feel like I could see maybe that zest come out of Kathy. I don't know for sure, but she seems like a loud and opinionated woman, and maybe that woman doesn't want her child appearing to pee in public. And then now we're left with the other two, and oh, that's difficult. I almost wonder if, could there be some sort of plagiarism or copyright issue if Scuba Steve is exactly or very similarly based off of another toy, but then I think, hey, they're mentioning Hooters, so they got cleared for that.
Okay.
I think Leslie Mann is a very interesting actress, so I wouldn't put it past me to believe that she worked at Hooters in between jobs, and I hope that's true. But let's see what the answers are.
So what is your lie?
Oh, the lie is that Scuba Steve is based off of one of his childhood action figures.
Julianne. Fact number 2, that Scuba Steve is based on a doll that Adam Sandler owned when he was little called Diver Dan is actually true.
What?
Say what?
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Diver Dan. I've never heard of him. I guess he didn't do as well as G.I. Joe. Like, who is Diver Dan? I don't know this man.
I'm actually uncertain who Diver Dan is or was, or if this character had a show. So I think that is going to be some research that I do after we record. Because
Same here.
I think maybe you can see where Adam Sandler was inspired to embody the role of Scuba Steve, because when he was a kid, that was his idol. So maybe he was trying to mirror that in the film for Julianne, and that showed up a little bit in the writing for the film. So you could definitely feel the heart in that Scuba Steve scene.
So what's fake then? Now I'm in a tizzy. Now I would put my money on the Kathy Lee Gifford thing is
The lie
fake.
is that Leslie Mann never worked at Hooters.
Oh, I was rooting for her. Oh.
We love and respect a queen that works at Hooters, and unfortunately that wasn't Leslie.
Oh, well, that's all right. She clearly did all right in the acting world, so I see why she didn't have to, resort to Hooters. Oh, that's my cat! I don't know if you heard.
So unfortunately, Julianne, you will start off at 0-1 for your all-time record on the Being Real podcast. But fear not, there may be chances in the future for you to reclaim glory.
Oh, it'd be an honor.
Now, I want to transition into a few of or maybe a couple to a few of the messages in the film, Big Daddy. The first one we'll key in on is this theme of stunted maturity. I feel like Sonny in the film, he's technically at the next big milestone in his life. Post-college, like, how is he going to make a career out of law school, which he once attended, but has now become stagnant because he's won all this money from the settlement. Will he profess his commitment to Vanessa? Will he be willing to start a family with her? It seems that, like, most characters in the film are generally perturbed by Sonny's listless behaviors, sleeping in on the weekdays, which I'm like, go king. Relying on money from the accidental claim, and that dead end roll at the toll booth. It's clear that Sonny is facing at least some external pressures, the rocky relationship with his dad, bickering with Kevin's girlfriend, to grow or grow up. There's definitely some deep-seated trauma holding him back in this previous era. Just thinking about this theme of like stunted maturity, have you ever received like a wake-up call to grow up? And how did you feel about it in the moment? And how do you feel about it when you think back to it now?
There's so many. Which one do I want to share?
Or I guess what do you think holds people back from moving forward with their lives?
Oh, for certain the fear of the unknown. And I think maybe a good wake-up example is where I'm at also right now, is the understanding of you really can't control what anybody else is going to do. You also can't predict what anybody else is going to do, but we can for ourselves. So for me, growing up is just coming to that reality that I only have control over myself in any situation. And I think once I accept that, I'll feel like I leveled up as an adult.
For me anyway, it's almost like I've had moments in my life where I felt like I'm just sort of banking on that it's all gonna turn out, but not putting any action forward. Like when I'd gotten bored with my life post-COVID and working and not seeing any inspiration there, I mean, here I am now, actively participating in something that gives me excitement. Another message in this film to go off of this is maybe a message of stumbling on purpose. At least from Sonny's point of view, I think he very much understands that the external pressures are trying to challenge him to move on, get to the next phase of his life. However, Sonny thinks that people are pushing him to lead a life that isn't meant for him. Like his father challenging him to be a hotshot lawyer, or maybe something that he's not ready for. So maybe it can be interpreted that Sonny is simply drifting through life purposefully, taking time to truly find himself.
Or avoidance, though. Could he be putzing around because making a decision is too difficult to do to decide what his next move is going to be in life? He doesn't want to face that reality, maybe, but then he's forced to.
There's definitely two perspectives to that. And it all comes down to a common thread that you have to get somewhere. So what are some ways do you think we can find ourselves as people?
Mindfulness activities, learning how to listen to yourself too, but really finding your people, and truly just getting up off of the couch and living. I think you're going to find yourself and learn what you like by trying different things. I'm not always one to go camping, but my best friend invited me to go to her family's camp last weekend. I just loved it. It was so peaceful. It was so nice. Now I'm like, oh, I want to go camping again. Until I went, I was just kind of like, didn't care so much for it. So there's a lot of things that I have found in myself that I really like to do or try to embody just by experiencing life, being around different people.
So you feel like maybe saying yes to life leads you to opportunities?
Yes, truly to discovering things you didn't know you would enjoy, which is the same as finding new opportunities.
Well, you know what? I find on the flip side, if we could talk about that sometimes saying no is the best feeling ever.
It is so powerful, and that's something that's new to me. Is that also a new concept to you?
I'm definitely a people pleaser, so
yes.
If I'm presented with an opportunity, I'm almost like, yes. And then my schedule gets maybe too booked up, or I come to that moment and I just don't have enough energy.
You're overwhelmed.
So sometimes you can look at no as being an avoidant strategy. You can look at no as being lazy, but you can also look at no, just like you said, as something very empowering and just taking your time. And again, maybe some people interpret it as stumbling, but maybe you're doing that on purpose. Saying no as a way to listen to yourself.
I think that's something I'm more comfortable with the idea of it's okay to say no now that I am getting older, because like as I got older, I don't care as much about what others are going to think if I need to take that time to take care of me, because I've experienced compromising myself and my time, and that never ends up good. And it usually isn't just a quick effect. Like I might have a bad day the next day because I couldn't do the things that I needed to do to feel in order. It's something I have felt more okay with as I got older, that saying no is good for yourself.
It's good for the soul.
It is.
I think another step in this movie is Sonny Koufax taking on a certain responsibility, integrity in providing education, all the challenges but rewards of raising another being.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't have children, maybe you have pets, maybe you have friends that need reassurance, consultation after, let's say, a rocky night out at the bar. I find it interesting that we all parent in some way. Being a full-time and arguably all-time dog mom, Julianne, what do you think parenting really is?
Parenting. I think if you do it right, it's a huge act of selflessness, but also maybe some selfishness in the way of the love that you're going to get in return. So for me, I will say with my baby dog Buju, rest in peace, guy. He was awesome.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. dude. I just wanted to see him live his best life. So whether that was buying him little old man stairs to get up on the bed so he could sleep with me, did it, no questions asked. The final days, maybe he needed his little butt wiped, no questions asked. Like, I got that, but it's kind of it's a giving relationship, but you're gonna get a lot out of it too. Just the joy of seeing Buju happy, comfortable. It also makes me feel like, oh, look at me achieving. I can provide this for him. It is a huge responsibility and easily saying life altering. So that's why I think it's a really big decision to make. Like, if you have the opportunity to sit and make the decision before, it just happening, I think that's good.
Maybe it's the sacrifices and the choices we make along the way to maximize that child's or that pet's livelihood.
Child or pet. But yes, because when you see them down or sad or sick, you can't help but to feel similar to that. Or, we want to help. So we want them to succeed and be happy and grow.
And sometimes it takes an army to raise somebody.
It does. It's not always pretty, but
no.
I think you can look back at what you have created or helped grow and feel proud of what you did. Like, I feel confident that I gave Buju the best dog life ever. Hopefully, maybe one day I can feel like that about a human. But for now, I feel like that was a wonderful relationship.
There's some pride to take in that, seeing those moments of happiness, whether it be the capturing in pictures or being able to see the peace that you've brought them from maybe teaching them things, showing them things. And, like I said, it sometimes it's not solely on you. Sometimes it takes an army to raise these kids, these pets. And, Sonny in the film, he relies on all those friends that Adam Sandler brings to the table to help raise Julianne. Maybe it's one person's responsibility, maybe it's the parents' responsibility, but it's okay to reach deep into that interpersonal humanity and understand that one person is a conglomerate made up of so many lives that touch upon that, That's huge, and that is true. I think we can feel it when we, take a little bit of someone with us, and then every time you see their action reflected in what you're doing, it's always a sweet little reminder of, I got that from my grandpa, or, I got this from them. Like, you really do take a piece of them with you throughout your life. So I like the way you said that. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think this is probably a good point where we can take a step back and look at this movie as a whole and give our final verdicts on the film. I'll start with me because I'm selfish.
Go right ahead. Set the tone.
I think Big Daddy has a very important part of my history, being one of the first films that my mom showed me growing up. So I do have a personal bias here. I think I'm not always a fan of Adam Sandler's films, the tone that he brings. Some of the comedy hits, some of it doesn't. In this movie, I think the jokes land. I think that there is some pretty personal and inspirational messages that he brings to the table, considering the parenthood, moving on in life, growing up. It's interesting, growing up, raising a kid.
Himself.
Yeah. So I think that does pack a very weighty and beautiful punch. So together, I feel because of the setting, the fall season, love that. Everything taken together with the comedy and the messages in this film and just the charming performances, I'm going to give this movie a 7 to 7.5. Let's just say, tack it together, 7.25. It's not a perfect movie, but I would never want it to be. And that is not how raising a child, parenthood is.
Exactly. I think that's a very reasonable score. Now, I think it is also, I think you could say any parent is really growing as their child's growing too, because we're learning and evolving all of the time. So it's interesting. Are we all just children raising children? Ooh. But
are we all big daddies?
We are all big daddies. Like the little, what are they called? The little Russian nesting dolls. We're all just big daddies producing little big daddies.
Like what we said about how one person is made up of all the lives that have touched them. We're all big Russian doll daddies.
And we have
whatever that
all
means.
Of our little peoples inside of us, and they help us grow. That is beautiful.
So where are you coming out with this movie score-wise between a score of 1 and 10?
Oh, well, I have to say I am such a sentimental sap person, so really because of the place of this movie in my heart I really think this was the first comedy growing up that like I could understand a movie is funny, and it was more adult humor. I didn't understand everything at first, but I could kind of laugh along at things my parents were laughing along with, and it's a very comforting, cozy movie for me. I get good chuckles from it. I feel like I'm going to give it an 8 for sentimental reasons and just personal journey reasons right now.
I'm on board with you there. The nostalgia hits for me, as I'm sure it does for you. Mm-hmm. And I think we're coming out to about a 7.6, and I think that's
like
fair.
It. I will agree to that. We can sign off on a 7.6.
We agreed that it's not perfect, but it means a lot to us. It gives a lot of good laughs, and like it got some good messages.
One could argue that Bougie was a 7.6. Missing one eyeball and having glaucoma or cataracts in the other. He was a solid 7.6.
It could be a mirror for who we all are.
Yes, he was a big daddy. I think that's the message we need to take away from here is we are all big daddies.
You were Bougie's big daddy.
Oh,
and for that,
you.
He is eternally grateful.
And for that, he shall always be my little daddy, my little big daddy Russian nesting doll.
So, Julianne, I wanna close this episode. We've given our verdicts a 7.6. We've talked about everything from your tea obsession to the Sprouse twins, the whole Sandler of this movie, messages ranging from growing up, maturity, stumbling on with purpose, and parenthood. And I've really enjoyed talking about the 1990 film Big Daddy with you.
I have too, and just thank you so much for inviting me to your podcast. This has been awesome. I can't lie, I was nervous starting this out, but I enjoyed having a conversation over something that has a special place in both of our hearts. We see the same humor in it.
I wanted to invite you on this because as I've come to know you through college and now, I feel like you are such a great support system for your friends. You are so encouraging, and that is a blessing to have in a friend, because at times we get to points where we just don't know. How do we move on? Just like Sonny in this film. And for your friends, you're right there. You are the hype. You should say yes to this opportunity. I think I can speak for everyone in the friend group, but also I'm speaking for myself when I say that you are that big support. And I'm really happy to have that in my life.
Thank you. Well, hey, it is not hard to do when I've got friends like you. You guys, too. You guys have also been my rocks throughout the years, especially navigating the nursing world. I don't know what I would do without having our little goons safe space to just be ourselves and share.
So to the bean reelers out there, I guess keep in mind that we are all Russian dolls at heart, full of the people who have made our lives one to live and be happy. Remember, you are all big daddies.